Welcome to the exciting world of project management, where every detail counts, especially when it comes to building your dream coffee shop. In this fast-paced environment, two powerful tools come to our aid, PERT and CPM. PERT help us break down tasks like design, permitting, and construction into manageable chunks, ensuring we stay on schedule. And CPM, it pinpoints our critical path, showing us the most efficient route to completing our coffee shop on time. Join us as we dive into the world of PERT and CPM and witness how they turn our coffee shop dreams into reality. Stay tuned for the video and see how PERT and CPM make magic happen in building your favorite coffee shop.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. Have a seat.
Thank you.
Good morning, Miss Tindugan. Thank you for meeting me here today.
Good morning, ma'am. May I pleasure? I thought a change for scenery might spark some fresh idea.
Definitely. Let's dive into agenda. First, I want to discuss the progress of establishing of our shop.
Sure things, ma'am. Our social media engagement has been on the rise. We just need to finalize the promotional materials and our SBP list.
Perfect. And last, I want to touch base on our budget allocation for the next quarter.
I'll be prepare a breakdowns of projects. Here's ma'am. Project expenses and revenue targets. It's look like we're track to meet our goals.
That's reassuring. Overall, it seems like we're making a solid progress across the board. Well, thank you for thorough update, Ms. Tindugan. Let's keep up a momentum until our next meeting.
Ma'am. Sounds like plan, ma'am. Enjoy and the rest day po. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Everyone, thank you for joining us today. As you know, our goal is to discuss the opening of our coffee shop using the PERT CPM techniques to organize our project management process. Let's begin by introducing ourselves. My name is Maria Prisca Denise B. Sorbona, your meeting facilitator.
Hi, I'm Justin Joy Tindogan and I'll be overseeing the marketing aspect of this project.
Hello everyone, I'm Japia Hitosis, responsible for the financial planning and budgeting.
Hi, I'm Claire Tulomia. I will handling operation and logistics.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Veronica Flores, focusing on human resources and staffing. And also, I'll be coordinating the project and ensuring all tasks stay on schedule.
Good day everyone, I'm Maria Concepcion Musuela, tasking with select supplier and manage inventory.
Hello, I'm Unique Rose Reales, responsible for designing the layout and interior of the coffee shop.
Before diving into details, let's quickly review our objectives of our project. Our primary goal is to open successful coffee shop that provides high quality of beverage and exceptional customer service. We aim to achieve with a specific time frame and the budget. Does anyone have anything to add or clarify regarding to our objectives?
None.
Now, let's discuss the PERT CPM and how it can benefit our project. PERT CPM help us to organize and scheduling tasks, identifying critical path, and estimating project completion in time. We can effectively plan and execute each stage of operating the coffee shop.
As you can see from our first CPM chart, we have identified the critical path for opening the coffee shop. It involves tasks such as finding a location, obtaining permits, and designing the layout, hiring staff, and overseeing inventory, ordering inventory.
how we progressing with each task on the critical path?
Currently, we're ahead of schedule with finding location and obtaining permits. However, we're slightly behind on hiring staff due to delay of recruitment process. But I'll make sure to expedite the hiring process to get us back on track.
So regarding the financial aspect, are there any potential risks or constraints we need to address?
We've identified some potential risks with construction delays and unexpected expenses. We'll need to closely monitor our budget and ensure we have contingency plans in place.
It is crucial if we communicate effectively and collaboratively closely to reduce any risk and keep the project on schedule. Let's schedule regular check-ups, track our progress, and address any issue that arise.
Agree. I update the per CPM chart accordingly and share it with everyone to ensure we're all on the same page.
Additionally, let's brainstorm ideas for marketing strategies and promotion to attract customers once we are ready to open.
Excellent suggestion. Let's schedule separate meeting to focus especially on marketing strategies.
Before we adjourn, does anyone have any questions or other concerns?
Thank you everyone for your valuable contribution today. I'm confident that with our thorough planning with using PERT, CPN techniques will be well equipped in opening our coffee shop. Let's stay communication and continue to work together towards our shared goal. Let's team up in a 1-week review of progress and discuss any updates. Thank you everyone for your contribution today and meeting adjourned.
Thank you.
Before we dive into our coffee shops, scheduling using per CPM techniques, let's first understand what these methods all about. PERT, which stands for Program Evaluation and Review Technique, and CPM, which stands for Critical Path Method, are both project management tools used for planning, scheduling, and controlling projects. PERT emphasizes the probabilistic aspect of time estimation, accommodating uncertainties in project duration. It involves constructing a project network, performing forward and backward passes, determining completion time, calculating slack values, and identifying critical path. CPM, on the other hand, is more deterministic, focusing on identifying the longest path through the network known as critical path and ensuring that no activities on this path are delayed, as it directly impacts project completion time. Now that we laid the groundwork, let's delve into how we've been employing these techniques to manage the schedule of our coffee shop's operations efficiently. Now, let's walk through the process of utilizing the PERT CPM techniques for our coffee shop scheduling using the node convention method as outlined by Anderson, Sweeney, and Williams. First and foremost, we initiate the process by constructing a project network. This involves identifying all the activities required to open our coffee shop by constructing a project network, perform forward and backward passes, determine the project completion time, calculate the slacks value and the last, and we were stating the critical path. Following these steps and utilizing the node convention method, we ensure effective scheduling and timely opening our coffee shop. Let's proceed with applying these techniques to optimize our operation.
First, we construct a sketch for our visual full network. We have here the coffee shop schedule and its node convention. Let us start with activity A. Activity A has no predecessor, so it can begin at the start. Moving on to activity B and activity C, that both requires activity A to be completed before they can start. The next, the activity D and activity E, that both requires activity B to be completed before it can start. Moving on to activity F, that requires activity C to be completed before it can start. Moving on to activity G, that requires both activity D and activity E to be completed before it can start. The next is the activity H, that requires activity E and activity F to be completed before it can start. And activity I requires activity H and activity G to be completed before it can start. Since I have no longer follows any predecessors, it can proceed to finish. Here is the network showing activity letters and their respective times. Let's proceed with the forward pass. Activity A has no predecessor, so its the earliest start time will be 0 right away. Since it takes 5 days to be complete, its earliest finish time will be 0 plus 5, which gives 5. Moving on to activity B, which requires activity A to be completed before it can start. Since the earliest finish time of A is 5, the earliest time of B can be also start at 5. With an activity duration of 10 days, B will have the earliest finish time of 5 plus 10, which gives 15. Next is activity C that requires activity A. Since the earliest finish time of A is 5, the earliest start time of C would also be 5. With an activity duration of 13 days, C will have the earliest finish time of 5 plus 13, which gives 18. Activity D requires activity B to be completed before it can start. Since the earliest finish time of B is 15, the earliest start time of D would also be 15. With the activity duration of 7 days, D will have the earliest finish time of 7 plus 15, which gives 22. Activity E requires activity B to be completed. Since the earliest finish time of B is 15, the earliest start time of E would also be 15. With an activity duration of 3 days, E will have its earliest finish time of 13 plus 15, which gives 18. Activity F requires activity C to be completed. Since the earliest finish time of C is 18, the earliest start time of F would also be 18. With an activity duration of 9 days, F will have its earliest finish time of 9 plus 18, which gives 27. Activity G requires activity E and D to be completed before it starts. Since the highest earliest finish time of E and D is 22, the earliest start time of G would also be 22. With an activity duration of 4 days, G will have its earliest finish time of 4 plus 22, which gives 26. Activity H requires activity E and F to be completed. Since the highest earliest finish time of E and F is 27, the earliest start time of H is 27. With activity duration of 3 days, H will have its earliest finish time of 3 plus 27, which gives 30. Lastly, activity I require activity G and H to be completed. Since the highest earliest finish time of G and H is 30, the earliest start time of I would also be 30. With an activity duration of 7 days, activity I will have its earliest finish time of 7 plus 30, which gives the activity a finish time of 37. Since activity I had the highest finish time, we can say that the project completion time is no longer than 37 days. But remember, if the second last activity has higher earliest finish time than the last activity, and you chose the highest finish time as the project completion time. Overall, the project completion time would be the highest earliest finish time, and that would be our finish note.
Let's do the backward pass. Next, we will determine the latest start times by subtracting the activity time from the latest finish time. For activity I, the latest start time will be 37. With an activity duration of 7 days, activity I will have the latest finish time of 37 minus 7, which gives 30. Moving to activity H with only one successor, which is activity I that has a latest start time of 30. With an activity duration of 3 days, activity H will have the latest finish time of 30 minus 3, which gives 27. Next, activity G with only one successor, which is activity I that has a latest start time of 30. With an activity duration of 4 days, activity H will have the latest finish time of 30 minus 4, which gives 26. Activity F with only one successor, which is activity H that has the latest start time of 27. With an activity duration of 9 days, activity H will have latest finish time of 27 minus 9, which gives 18. In activity E, there are two successors, G and H, with their latest start time being 26 and 27 respectively. Note, during the backward pass, the successor should be considered with the minimum latest start time given. Since G has the earliest latest finish time among the successors, which is 26, this concludes that the latest start time of activity E has been 26. With an activity duration of 3 days, activity E will have latest finish time of 26 minus 3, which gives 23. Activity D with an only successor, which is activity G that has the latest start time of 26. With an activity duration of 9 days, activity D will have the latest finish time of 26 minus 7, which gives 19. Activity C with the only one successor, which is activity F that has the latest start time of 18. With an activity duration of 13 days, activity H will have the latest finish time of 18 minus 13, which gives 5. In activity B has also two successors, D and E, with their latest start time being 19 and 23 respectively. Again, during the backward pass, the successor should be considered with the minimum latest start time given. Since D has the earliest latest finish time among the successors, which is 19, this concludes that the latest start time of activity B has been 19. Therefore, activity B has a successors D with the latest start time of 19. With an activity duration of 10 days, activity B will have a latest finish time of 19 minus 10, which gives 10. Lastly, activity B has also two successors, B and C, with their latest start time being 9 and 5 respectively. Since activity C has the earliest latest finish time among the successors, which is 5, this concludes that the latest start time of activity A has been 5. Therefore, activity A has a successor C with the latest start time of 5. With an activity duration of days, activity B will have a latest finish time of 5 minus 5, which gives 0. Now that we have completed our backward pass, let's proceed to identify the slack of each activity. Slacks in activity is defined as the amount of time that activity can be delayed without extending or increasing the project completion schedule. This will be computed for each activity. Let's proceed with identify the slack of each activity. Latest start minus earliest start, or latest finish minus earliest finish. Our slack for activity A will be 0. Moving on to activity B, the slack will be 4. Next, our slack for activity C is 0.
Activity D will be 4. Activity E will be 8. Activity F will be 0. For activity G will be 4. Activity H will be 0. And lastly, activity I will be 0. For activity B, it can begin anytime between day 5 and day 9 and finish anytime between day 15 and day 19, allowing for a maximum delay of 14 days without extending the project completion time beyond day 37. Activities A, C, F, H, and I cannot be delayed without extending the project completion time. Reminders that if any of these activities are delayed, it would directly impact the project completion time. For example, delay activity H by 3 days would extend the completion time from 37 to 30 days. Activities with zero slacks are referred to as critical activities, forming the critical path, which is the longest path in the network. Based on our table, we can identify our critical path as A, C, F, H, and I. This schedule outlines that opening our coffee shop using the critical path method.